Baby, Sleep at the Wheel with their version of Amarillo by Morning. Yeah, it is now time for the Steve's Farm and Ranch Report. This is a deal I do starting in the spring. As many of you know who listen to my program over the years, I do a critique of Western movies that I like for a good part of the year. But when we get into the springtime, I think it's important, particularly for those of us that live west of the Mississippi, I think it's important to give a little shout out and tell you what's going on out there with the real Americans. And I'm talking about the folks who are on the farm and on the ranches who are taking care of our food needs. And so what I like to do is give the world report as it is through how I see things. And this is not about cattle prices, which are high. This is not about corn prices, which are fluctuating. This is not about weather, which is fickle, as Mother Nature tends to be. This happens to be somewhat of a travelogue in that I do like to get out and see what's going on out there in the ranches and in the farms. And as I said last Saturday, I happen to be on the eastern edge of the Red River Valley. I was up there for a very specific purpose. Get your tongue out of your going, Steve, out of your for a purpose, and that being I was visiting the Johnson brothers, Lance and Sean, who've got a great big custom harvesting operation along with a great big farm. Man, that is beautiful farm country up there, and they've had their troubles because I think, no, that's right, Lance. Yeah, I think Lance is telling me that this is as late as it's been in many years before they've been able to get the seed in for their corn crop and their soybean crop. In any event, they've had some clear weather, and they are doing that now, but the purpose of my farm and ranch report is just give you a little sense of what I see going on out there. And so we were up, when I say we, I was with Chris Kaeg, who's producer at Web-I Production, producing a pretty interesting series for RFD TV called American Harvest the Odyssey. But in any event, we were up doing some filming, and it was a pretty interesting dialogue going on because Sean and Johnson and Lance Johnson, in addition to that big farm they got going on up there, got a road crew of 20-some guys, along with millions of dollars worth of equipment that they load up on flatbed trucks. And those boys are like a traveling carnival show, quite frankly. They get in those big trucks, they head down to, I think their first stop was Wichita Falls, Texas. And they get down there, they unload all these big combines, all these big headers, tractors, seeders, you name it, and they start their migration, or their odyssey, I should say, from Texas up to the Canadian border, harvesting the plains, basically so you and I got something to eat. But this is emblematic of what all farmers and all custom harvesters do, and that is it's seed time and then it's harvest, and they start harvesting winter wheat. I think they end up in November sometime harvesting soybeans. So all of that is going on. So while we are up in Evansville, Minnesota area, just meeting with some of the people involved in the process, there's a guy named Bob Ehlers up there who is a pretty interesting dude. He's got a big farm operation. In addition to that, he's got a thing called Red River Marketing, I think, and they provide the seeds, which are so critical this time of year to get into the ground. Well, why I mention that is I'm one of those guys that thinks seeding is seeding. Man, it's like planting Scott grass seed. You go out, throw it in, and hope for the best. Well, no, that's not the case. As I learned, what happens is a couple of folks that work for Bob Ehlers, Leah Johnson happened to be one of them, and this is a young gal that I'm telling you is a poster child, or a poster young person, I should say, for future farmers of America. Man, she's got it all. And any event, she and another young guy named Ben proceeded to give me a little education on what goes on in the seeding process. You fertilize, you seed, but you also need to do soil sampling to make sure you got the right composition of herbicide, pesticides, and fertilizer that goes into those big fields. Well, guess what? Drones. Oh yeah, drones are a bad name? I don't think so. Leah and this young guy named Ben, they do a drone deal. They fly a drone over the fields, and they do geo mapping, and then they feed that data into upload it into a computer, and presto, you got soil composition, you got vegetation readings, so you know exactly how, when, and where to pinpoint the fertilizing and the seeding and the herbicide and pesticide process. So I'm talking about farming has become a very technologically advanced industry, and these young folks are carrying it on and really are quite impressive. So in any event, it was an eye opener for me. Got to visit with the boys that provide the big toys. I'm talking about Titan Machinery in Elbow Lake. I mean, Titan Machinery's got I don't know, what do they got? They may have 100 or so of these distributorships, but walking in there, I mean, you think you died and gone to heaven if you like big boy toys. I mean, these big combines, these big tractors, and then at the other end, my friends over at ATG, Alliance Tire Group, they're the guys that provide the great big tires that keep this great big equipment running. And by the way, ATG also sponsors, oh, I got to get out and see this. ATG sponsors the NTPA. Man, there's a lot of letters going on. NTPA is the National Tractor Pullers Association. And you talk about a big-time event right there in the heart of America. For those of you who've not been out to see one of these tractor pulling competitions, you got to get out and see these things. Case is one of the sponsors of this deal. This Alliance Tire Group is one, and they make these great big tires. Yet, you know, I'm 6'2", and they're higher than I am. And in any event, those are the kind of companies and those are the kind of activities that are going on out there in the farm and ranch community. And that is my report today. And stay tuned, because we'll get back every Saturday and I'll bring you up to date on what's going on in real America. Thank you, folks. Let me get back now to another great piece. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? Yeah, I'm going to, okay, this is a little bit of a transition period. I'm going to play something by Bill Haley in the comments. And you're going to say, well, why is that? That has no relevance whatsoever to country music. Well, oh, yeah, it does. So just one second. Here you go. This is Bill Haley in the comments and his iconic song, Rock Around the Clock, and I'll give you the connection to this song and some of the early Texas music that we have been playing this morning.
3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock,